Welcome, welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. Welcome, my friend. My name is Wanu Ali Shea, and sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. I am uber grateful you're here. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang out with me. FCK stands for fun, compassion, and kindness. Now, on the Mindful podcast, what we essentially talk about is nervous system regulation, how to build trust between your brain and your body, also how to safely create internal capacity to process your emotions, and also reconnecting with the inner child. Now, before we start the actual episode of the day, we have like a little practice where I read a list. Now, the title of the list is called Reminders to Being Human. Now, the intention behind reading that list is to remind myself and also in the hopes of reminding you on your journey. All right, let's go. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. Now let's get into the fun part of the show. All right. I want you to picture something simple, my friend. It's a random weekday morning. Your alarm goes off, not aggressively, just enough to wake you up. But you don't jump out of your bed and you don't feel terrible either. You just there. Then you reach for your phone before your feet even touches the ground and you check your text messages, you scroll on social media a little, maybe open TikTok or Instagram, or maybe even respond to that email. And somewhere in between all of that, there is this quiet thought sitting in the background of your mind saying, "Ooh, I need to get my life together today." Not in a dramatic way. It's not in a way like everything is falling apart in your life. Just like the subtle feeling that things could be better. That you have seen glimpses of a different version of your life and you want to hold on to that. So, what do? You get up, you make your bed, or maybe you don't, right? You brush your teeth, you stand in front of the mirror for more than a few seconds longer than usual. You're not really looking at anything specific and you're just thinking. It's just some thoughts are coming in your brain and you're thinking to yourself, today I'm going to be different. That's what you tell yourself. And you really mean it. You're honest about it, right? You're not lying to yourself. You have felt this version of yourself before in the past. I mean, the version of you that wakes up with intention, with love, the one that drinks water first before they start their day, the one that moves their body, the one that doesn't check their phone immediately they wake up. I mean, that version of you that feels grounded, that feels present, you know? You've been that person before in the past. Even if it was just for a few days, but you've experienced that, even if for a few weeks, maybe sometimes a few months, right? There's that consistent version of yourself. And that's the part that actually confuses you because you've already seen that version of yourself. I mean, you've already experienced it. You know it's possible, right? So why can't you hold on to that version of yourself? That's what I want to talk to you about today on the podcast. Not from the version of you that has it all figured out, no, but from the version of you who is still in it, experiencing it. Because I remember so clearly on my journey, I remember being in that exact space, my friend, where my life wasn't falling apart, but my life didn't also feel stable either. It was just this messy, gooey middle. It felt like I was constantly building something and then watching it slowly slip away through my hands. That's how it felt, literally. I mean, I would have a good week. I would wake up early. I would meditate. I would move my body. I would do all that good jazz. And I would feel a little more clear in my mind. I will respond to messages on time. I mean, I will show up for myself, all that good stuff, right? And then something small would happen. Just a little event, small. Maybe one night I didn't sleep well. Or maybe back then my lower back started acting up. Or maybe I woke up just feeling a bit off. Nothing I could fully logically explain. And instead of just being one off day, it would turn to two, then maybe three. Then suddenly I find myself back in my old patterns, which is, scrolling endlessly on social media, avoiding things that I know would help me, procrastinating, saying I'll do it tomorrow, emotionally eating. I'm feeling that quiet guilt in the background. And then there's this thought that comes in my brain. Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns? Because it starts to feel like you're the problem. Like, maybe I just don't have enough discipline in my life, or maybe I'm just inconsistent, or maybe I can't just follow through on simple stuff. That's what it starts to feel like, right? And if you've ever been there and you know how heavy this feels, woo, because now it's not just about your habits anymore. It's about how you perceive yourself, how you see yourself in your everyday life choices. And I remember having moments where I would just sit on my bed, literally just staring at the wall and just thinking to myself, I know what to do. So why am I not doing it? You see, my friend, that question can feel frustrating as fuck because it makes it seem like the answer is simple. It really does. Like, just do it, right? Just take the action. But if it was that simple, you wouldn't be here, right? So let me give you another example. I think something that I don't think we talk enough about on this journey is holding on to a better life is not just about knowing what to do. It's about whether your body feels safe enough to stay there. And for me, I did not even understand this for a very long time, right? Because from the outside, right, it looks like inconsistency. It looks like you're just being lazy. It looks like you lack every form of discipline. That's what it looks like from the outside. But from the inside, though, it feels like something keeps pulling you back into those old patterns, into those loops. And it's not in a loud way. It's not even dramatic either, right? It's very subtle. You can almost miss it. It's like waking up and just not feeling like it. It's you knowing you should go for a walk because your body feels heavy and it would help you, right? It's you opening your laptop to respond to an email that you need to follow up with and then closing it 10 minutes later. And then when you do that, then you judge yourself for doing that. That's the extra layer. I have lived in that loop and pattern for a very long time in my life, especially after I transitioned out of the military in 2022, because in the military, everything was structured. I mean, everything was clear, it was precise. There was a system you had to follow. Everything was mapped out for you. I mean, you wake up very early in the morning, you show up, you do what needs to be done, rinse and repeat. So when that structure for me disappeared 4 years ago, I had to create my own structure. And that's where things started to get interesting for me. Because now it wasn't about following orders anymore. I wasn't in the army, right? It was about trusting myself. I didn't realize how little I trusted myself until 4 years ago. I mean, I will set intention and I would not follow through. I mean, I would literally plan my day, then abandon it halfway through. And every time that happened, it chipped away at something way deeper. It wasn't just, I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do today. It became, damn, I can't even rely on myself to show up for myself. And once that belief started to form in my mind, everything started to feel truly unstable, right? Because now, even when you do have a good day, there's still a part of you that is waiting for it to fall apart, right? And you tell yourself, let's see how long this lasts, you know? That right there, my friend, is the piece most people miss. Waiting for the other shoe to fall. It's not that you can't build the life. No, you already have. It's that your internal system, your nervous system, doesn't fully trust it can stay yet. So, what does your nervous system do? It pulls you back into what is familiar. Even if what is familiar is not what you actually want in your life. That's what's happening. And for me, I saw this in the smallest everyday moments. I mean, something as simple as drinking water in the morning, right? I knew drinking water made me feel better. I had experienced that. I knew it. But some mornings, I would reach for my phone instead. That's the first thing I would do. It's not because I didn't care. It's not even because I forgot. No, no, no. But because my nervous system was so used to starting the day in a certain way. And changing that routine initially felt uncomfortable as fuck. It wasn't hard. It was not impossible. No, just unfamiliar. That's it. Unfamiliarity. Your body's not used to it. And unfamiliarity initially can feel unsafe to your nervous system, even when it's better for you. That is the paradox. So when you ask yourself, why can't I hold on to the life I'm trying to build? A more honest reframe might be, does my body feel safe enough staying here? That's a more honest reframe, my friend. Because Building the life is one thing. Staying in that life is a completely different experience. You need internal structure. You need internal safety. You need internal trust. And I had to learn this the hard way because there was a period in my life where I was doing everything right. I mean, sitting in silence, journaling, meditating, taking a walk, stretching myself. Like I was doing everything right. And I remember thinking to myself, this is it. I think I cracked the code. Sykes. Well, there is no code to crack. And then slowly I stopped. Not all at once, but I stopped. Just one thing at a time. I don't know, I stopped taking walks like I usually do consistently. I stopped journaling. I scrolled a little more. And before I knew it, bam, I was back into my old patterns. I will say this, I was very frustrated because I couldn't understand for the life of me why I was right back where I was until I started paying attention to how my body felt in those good periods. And this is very important to point out to you, my friend. On the outside, it looked like I was doing well. Seriously, it really did. It looked like I had my shit together. But on the inside, though, there was pressure, there was hypervigilance, there was tension. I was trying very hard to maintain something. I was trying very hard to hold everything together. I was trying very hard not to mess things up. And that pressure I kept on my nervous system, even though it looked like progress, it was not sustainable. There was no internal capacity at that time. There was no internal structure. There was no internal trust. So eventually, my nervous system found relief by going back to what it knew, to the old patterns, to the coping mechanisms that kept me safe. Even if it meant feeling stuck again, because at least feeling stuck felt familiar to my nervous system. You see, I want you to really sit with this, my friend, because sometimes the truth is you're not losing the life you're building. That's not what's happening. You're just not fully settled in yet. And instead of forcing yourself to hold on to it, because that takes more energy, what if the focus shifted to how can I make this feel safer, slower, more natural, more human, not perfect, not intense, just human, steady. Because from my own experience, real change did not come from me doing more. Mm-mm. It actually came from me doing a whole lot less, but doing it consistently enough that my body started to trust the new lived experiences. For example, I mean, waking up every morning consistently, I'm just placing my feet on the ground before grabbing my phone. Consistency, my friend. That's the key word here. There was no big routine, there was no pressure, none of that. Just doing the small things consistently, one micro moment at a time. And just repeating that over and over, rinse and repeat. And over time, my friend, that became my baseline, my nervous system. That became the normal thing for my body. And then once I created that, I could add something small on top of that, like drinking water, right? Once I got consistent with drinking water, then I added another thing, right? Like laying flat on the ground so my body feels supported. Not because I had to do it, but because it started to feel okay for my body. And that's the difference, my friend. When something feels okay in your body, you don't have to force it. You don't even have to try to make it happen because it's normal, right? And when you don't have to force something, you can stay in it. So, my friend, if you're in that space right now where it feels like you keep building something in your life and then eventually losing it, I want you to consider this. Maybe you're not failing. No, just maybe. Just consider that possibility. Maybe you're just trying to move faster than your system feels safe moving. That's it. And instead of asking yourself, how do I hold on to this in my life? Try asking yourself this. What is one small thing I can do that actually feels okay to repeat tomorrow? One small thing. Not exciting, not impressive. No, no, no. Just doable. Not exciting, not impressive, just doable. That's, my friend, that's how trust is built. Brick by brick. Consistency. It's not in big moments, it's in small, repeatable, everyday micro moments that most of us miss on this journey. And over time, those small moments, like a foundation, they start to stack. And one day, you look around and realize, holy shit, you're not trying to hold on to that life anymore. No, you're just living the life without forcing it, without gripping hold onto it. You're just living, you're just being human, you're just being there, being human. And I would say this, if I could go back and speak to that version of myself 4 years ago when I was still in it, I would not tell myself try harder. No. I would not tell myself push through. Push through. No. I would say this to myself. Slow down, Wanu. You're not losing your life. You're learning how to stay in it. Ugh. Self-compassion and kindness changes everything, my friend. Everything. Everything. And just gives you that permission to be human. As always, I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you so much for listening. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Thank you.